Join us as we travel back in time to revisit these 10 old restaurants that we miss from the past. Part 2. Ready? Remember Bennigan's, the Irish-themed bar and grill famous for its happy hours? You're definitely not the only one. This casual sit-down chain, started in 1976 in Atlanta, quickly became a beloved American restaurant with its cozy dark wood interiors. By the early 80s, Bennigan's was a popular spot, known for its mid-range casual dining and fern bar atmosphere. Their TV ads promoted it as perfect for great happy hour deals and waiters who wore flair. Despite the Irish theme, the menu had a lot in common with other spots: steak, tempura shrimp, and Southwestern-style appetizers. And let's not forget about the famous Monte Cristo sandwich. It was amazing. They also served American favorites like fish and chips, steaks, burgers, ribs, wings, and various chicken dishes. Oh, and the Death by Chocolate Martini, it was the best. In 2008, Bennigan's declared bankruptcy and closed locations across the country. Since then, the company has gradually made a comeback, opening several Bennigan's and Bennigan's on-the-fly locations. When we think of classic American restaurants from back in the day, Bennigan's probably pops into our heads, definitely bringing back memories for many people from their childhood. No one does a Monte Cristo better than they do, deep-fried, dusted with powdered sugar, and served with raspberry dip on the side. Now that's a sandwich. I'd give anything for one now.
Mommy, we're going to Sambo.
If you were born before the 80s, chances are you remember eating at a Sambo's restaurant at some point, or maybe even working at one. Sambo's was an American restaurant chain that started in 1957 in Santa Barbara, California. After opening the first Sambo's, the chain quickly expanded. At its peak in 1979, Sambo's had an incredible 1,117 restaurants in 47 states. The decor often featured scenes and characters from the book it was named after. And yes, pancakes were a staple on the menu. Sambo's was a big competitor to Denny's, offering a wide menu with something for everyone. So, how does a restaurant that started in the 50s and grew to over 1,000 locations now have only one left? Well, even though the founders said the name Sambo was just a mix of their names, Sam Battistone, and Bo, Newell Bonnet, they also got inspired by the story of Little Black Sambo, and decided to serve up pancakes using Sambo and the Tigers for decorations and ads. Battistone and Bonnet decorated the restaurant walls with scenes from the book, including a dark-skinned boy, tigers, and a pale, magical unicycle-riding man called the Tree Friend. By the late 1970s, there was growing pressure on the chain to change its name due to protests and lawsuits from communities that saw Sambo as a derogatory term towards Black Americans. While not the only reason, the controversial name definitely contributed to its downfall. The only restaurant still open, the Santa Barbara location, kept the Sambo's name until 2020, when it was renamed Chad's, after its owner at the time, Chad Stevens. Going to Sambo's as a kid was such a treat. Did you ever eat there? Remember going to the treasure chest? Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor was a beloved spot for sweets, starting in 1963 in Portland, Oregon. Its popularity quickly spread beyond Oregon, and Farrell's opened locations all across the United States. In the 70s and 80s, Farrell's was the go-to place for special occasions, especially birthdays. The restaurant was famous for its huge plates of food, waiters singing loudly, and train whistles that made your ears pop. From California to New York, Farrell's offered the same fun experience with ice cream treats and a lively atmosphere. People loved the big ice cream sundaes and the fun vibe. Each store looked like an old-fashioned ice cream shop with checkered floors and servers in vintage outfits. They had lots of tasty treats like huge banana splits and giant zoo sundaes. One of the most famous things about Farrell's was how they celebrated birthdays. The staff would come out with drums and sirens to present a special sundae to the birthday person. Farrell's was always lively and fun, but as sales began to drop, Many stores closed down. However, for those who remember, it was a special place filled with happy memories. Who doesn't remember the iconic charm of Bob's Big Boy? Founded in 1936 by Bob Wien in Glendale, California, Bob's Big Boy quickly became a beloved dining spot for families and friends. With its signature double-decker burgers, friendly service, and classic American diner atmosphere, it became a favorite across the country. This restaurant is easily recognizable by its mascot, the chubby boy in checkered overalls holding a big burger. This symbol became synonymous with delicious, hearty meals and a welcoming environment. The restaurant's retro decor, complete with jukeboxes and shiny chrome details, created a nostalgic experience that many still cherish. One of the most popular items on the menu was the Big Boy Burger, a double-decker sandwich with 2 beef patties, lettuce, American cheese, pickles, and a special Big Boy sauce. This iconic burger, along with classic milkshakes and fries, made Bob's Big Boy a staple of American dining. Although Bob's Big Boy has fewer locations today, the memories of sharing meals there with family and friends remain strong. There is nothing better than drinking a crisp root beer on a hot day. Even better, add a scoop of vanilla ice cream for a creamy root beer float, right? A&W Root Beer started in California in 1919 when Roy W. Allen opened a small stand selling root beer with a special recipe from a pharmacist. His stand was so popular that he opened more in nearby cities and created the famous A&W brand with his partner, Frank Wright. In the 1950s and 60s, A&W helped create the drive-in restaurant culture across America. Local A&Ws promoted the drive-in experience with car hops and slogans like, "Come as you are, eat in your car." On Saturday evenings, teenagers and young adults would gather at A&W to enjoy root beer, floats, burgers, fries, and catch up with friends about each other's cars and share the latest news. Over the years, the menu has expanded to include hot dogs, cheese coney dogs, cheddar cheese curds, chicken sandwiches, and of course their famous floats. Going to the A&W drive-in was the ultimate family treat too. So much fun and excitement for such a simple outing. Today, they continue to be a very popular fast food stop, operating around 1,000 restaurants in many countries. When you think of delicious root beer, A&W probably comes to mind. Who doesn't remember that frosty mug taste? And if you enjoy content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Victoria Station was a chain of railroad-themed steakhouse restaurants. At its peak in the 1970s, the chain had 100 locations across the United States. It was designed to attract baby boomers. The theme was inspired by London's Victoria Station, featuring antique English railway artifacts inside and American railway cars, mainly boxcars, on the outside. It was a popular spot for special occasions, known for its prime rib. The menu included steaks, barbecued beef ribs, and a special shrimp dish called Shrimp Victoria, a variation of scampi. Their food was excellent. The company filed for bankruptcy in 1986, and the last remaining restaurant in the chain closed suddenly in 2017. Oh, the good old days. Many say Victoria Station had the best prime rib ever. Who has tried it? Well, my stomach is growling just thinking about it. Anyone mention York Steakhouse? Just hearing the name brings back memories of sizzling sirloin on the grill, right? York Steakhouse was a popular restaurant chain that started in Columbus in 1966, similar to Ponderosa. Known for its cafeteria-style setup, it was often found in malls. General Mills bought it in 1977, and by 1982, there were almost 200 locations in 27 states. People loved it for its good food, service, and fair prices. The decor was cozy with dim lighting, wooden furniture, and iron chandeliers. However, as newer malls with food courts became more common, York struggled to keep up. By the mid-1980s, sales were dropping and many locations closed down. Today, only one York steakhouse remains in Ohio. It's still run by the same family and attracts both loyal customers and nostalgic visitors. People come from all over to relive their memories of the place. Let's not forget the menu. The restaurant was famous for its steak and potatoes and their legendary chocolate pudding for dessert. It was awesome. Brown Derby was a chain of restaurants in Los Angeles, California. The first and most famous one was shaped like a derby hat, an iconic image that became associated with the golden age of Hollywood. It opened in 1926. The owners introduced the distinctive derby hat design, following the whimsical architectural styles popular at the time to attract passing motorists. During Hollywood's golden age, the Brown Derby was a symbol of movie star glamour. Oh, the golden years of Hollywood. George Burns, Gracie Allen. During lunch, you could see models walking around in beautiful clothes and sometimes even famous people. Many people wanted to dine where the stars ate, making the Derby a popular spot. Or maybe you think of this place whenever you order a Cobb salad. The chain eventually became outdated, and all 4 locations had closed by the mid-1980s. However, thanks to a licensing deal, one Hollywood Brown Derby restaurant is still in business today at Disney's Hollywood Studios Park within Walt Disney World in Florida. And before you go to our next video, tell me, if you could bring back one restaurant from back in the day, which one would it be?